Hi, everyone. This is Dan Lieberman with EBCE. I'm here with CEO Nick Chaset, and we're going to talk today about an update on 2019 rates and the Power Charge Indifference Adjustment. We've received some information from PG&E about how their rates are moving, and so we'll be presenting on that, and Nick can talk with you about what that means for EBCE rates in the coming year. So we'll hand it over to Nick, and I have everyone on mute. And after Nick walks through the slides and provides some info, I can unmute you all if you have any questions. So without further ado, here's Nick.
Thank you very much, Dan, and thanks to everyone for joining us today to talk about where rates are going and the Power Charge Indifference Adjustment. So, I guess I first want to lead by saying that the rates information we're providing here is still a forecast. PG&E has not published its final 2019 rates yet. They have published their 2019 or 2018 November ERA update. For those of you who are familiar with the ERA, it is a document that forecasts many of the costs that make up PG&E's generation rate. This year, though, there are a number of costs that were not included in the ERA that relate to other sources of generation, predominantly generation that's owned by PG&E, that were not provided. So while we do have an updated ERA, there has been the acknowledgement by PG&E that there still are a lot of factors that are not included in there that are going to play into setting 2019 rates. That being said, this forecast that's been developed for us reflects all the data sources that we reasonably can assume are going to play into PG&E 2019 rates, and so at this point kind of represents the best estimate of where those rates are going to be. The other thing that's worth noting is that like this last year, when PG&E's rate changes did not go into effect until March 1st, we are increasingly expecting that PG&E's rate changes will not occur on January 1, but will happen sometime thereafter. Again, that's also unclear. That's really right now in the hands of the California Public Utilities Commission. So we're awaiting their decision on PG&E's ERA, and that could happen in a matter of weeks. So again, that said, we don't expect them to go into effect January 1. So it's in that context that I want to provide our current view on 2019 rates, and certainly also kind of go into the Power Charge Indifference Adjustment and changes that occurred there. So let's move to the first slide. So this is our current forecast of PG&E's 2019 rates, and the good news for you all customers is that the forecast is across the board reductions for the variety of different rate classes. So on the low end, the forecast for certain very large commercial rates, the E20s, is in the 3.3 to 3.5% reduction range, and then the high end of the reduction range is for small commercial, our A1s, and our residential at 5.1%. So these are the forecast PG&E rates that we expect to go into effect in 2019. Certainly, as you very likely know, but if you don't, East Bay Community Energy's rates are pegged to PG&E's rates plus a discount. So when we talk about these rate changes, we are really talking about East Bay Community Energy's rates as well, with the adder of our discount rate. So I think at a high level, the message is going into next year, rates are coming down across the board.
And just to clarify, this is Dan. Sorry, this is for the generation portion of your bill only. So there could be Oh, sorry. I realized I have to, let me hit the little down. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I didn't realize that was showing on your screen. This is the generation portion of your bill. Only PG&E's transmission, distribution, and non-bypassable charges could increase. So there may not be overall bill savings, but it's good news in that for the generation part of the bill, you're looking at a decrease.
Right.
And should we?
So now let's move on to the Power Charge Indifference Adjustment. So the Power Charge Indifference Adjustment is the fee that CCA customers pay. There we go. The Power Charge Indifference Adjustment is a fee that CCA customers pay every month to PG&E to reflect the costs of largely long-term contracts that PG&E entered into on behalf of customers. So this every year the PCIA changes. It can go up or it can go down. In October, the California Public Utilities Commission made some fairly significant changes to the PCIA methodology, which are resulting in fairly significant increases in the PCIA. As you see here, the range is, for residential, actually a reduction in the PCIA, but for commercial customers, it's a fairly significant increase, from the 16% for ag rates all the way up to the 35% change for certain large commercial rates. You'll note that the STR is being very significant, but those are street lights, so generally speaking, not a major issue for our commercial customers here. So the big question is, what does this mean for your rates? Well, it doesn't really affect your rates. As we think about what our rates are, we have to be cognizant. There's the PG&E rate minus the PCIA is really what you get to. What our effective rate is, not the rate you as a customer see, but it's the rate. It calculates the amount of revenue that we will collect. And while yes, the PCIA has gone up significantly, we are not currently forecasting any increase in our rates relative to PG&E as a result of the PCIA. So going back to the last slide, you see this rate reduction. That is what we are forecasting as well to deliver to you, the customer. And we will be internalizing these increases to the PCIA. So that's really the very high level assessment of the changes to the PCIA. Certainly, we continue to advocate at the California Public Utilities Commission for continued adjustments to the PCIA that we think will deliver a more equitable outcome. It remains possible that in the final ERA documents that are approved by the Commission, there may still be adjustments to the PCIA that could very likely reduce the PCIA. I don't think we are expecting any changes that would increase the PCIA any further, but there may be some steps that are taken to reduce the PCIA. Certainly, we're planning for this scenario where we see a very large increase. But a reduction in the PCIA would certainly be beneficial. Going into 2019, the expectations of these PCIA rates will be stable, so we don't see again any major incremental changes through 2019 either. So where we stand right now, really as it relates to our customer rates. And for EBCE, we're going to continue to watch very closely what the California Public Utilities Commission does as it pertains to PG&E's ERA filing. And once we have some clear line of sight into when they are going to take action on their ERA, we'll have a much clearer sense of when the 2019 rates will go into effect. It could still happen in January. Could happen February 1st, could happen after February, given that there are a lot of moving parts. But what we are going to be doing is continuing to communicate with you customers as we have greater visibility in when we think these reductions are going to occur. we will communicate that. We are certainly also looking at other steps that we need to be taking as it pertains to sort of these changes in the PCIA and some of the impacts that they may have. And so, as we consider those adjustments to our program, we will be communicating those to you, and hopefully we'll be holding another one of these webinars when we have some greater clarity across the board.
Yeah, and then just on the administrative side, there will be an agenda item on the board agenda for December 5th, I believe, as a discussion item, but not a decision point for the board. Is that correct?
Correct.
Rates.
Yep.
So our board meetings are open to the public. The agendas are posted. The staff memos are posted. So when that's up, I think maybe at the end of the week or Monday next week, if people are looking for some more information around this, we'll be presenting that to the board. So you're welcome to look for that. And I think now I will take folks off of mute. And so if we have any specific questions, we have a little time here. Let me unmute the lines, and if anyone has questions, feel free.
Okay, well, we're not hearing any questions, so that means we must have been very clear in our presentation. Again, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to join us on this webinar. Certainly, we're always looking forward to find ways to interact with you individually. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you want to have an individual conversation about 2019 rates, about EBCE value proposition, really anything. And with that, I'll hand it back to Dan to close up.
All right. Thanks so much, Nick, and thanks for everyone on the line for your time. And I'll be posting a recording of this on the web, and otherwise, you know how to reach me. And I'll let you know about the next webinar. Thanks so much.